On September 14, 2007, Bree Wallace found her sister Ashley in her room, barely breathing. Beside her was a 750-word typewritten letter. In it, Ashley confessed to murdering her father and stepfather. Bree immediately called her mother and told her to call 911.
I need an ambulance.
What's the problem?
My daughter has taken some pills. Sounds like there's something in her throat. Ashley. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
How old is your daughter?
20.
Is she conscious?
Yes, she's making noise.
Is she breathing normally?
No. An entire bottle of vodka, Ashley.
Is that her?
Oh, she's throwing up.
Sure.
She left a letter.
She left a letter?
Left a note. Oh my God, this is not happening.
According to the authorities, Ashley was only 15 minutes from death when they arrived. Fortunately, Ashley woke up from her coma. But what awaited her was news of her confession and the devastating thought that her mother, her best friend, had just tried to kill her and frame her for murder. Welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into the chilling case of Stacey Castor, often referred to as the Black Widow. This case is a harrowing tale of betrayal, murder, and manipulation that captivated the nation. Join us as we explore the timeline of events, the investigation, and the trial that ultimately led to her conviction. On August 22, 2005, the police received a 911 call from a woman named Stacey Castor.
Police communications, can I help you?
My name is Stacey Castor. My husband didn't show up to work this morning. I don't know what's going on. I'm just getting a little concerned because I haven't talked to him since 5 o'clock in the morning on Sunday when he locked me out of the bedroom.
Has he ever mentioned hurting himself or harming himself or?
Friday night when we were arguing, he told me to get out, take my kids and get out. I could leave. And then 5 minutes later, he said if I left, he would make me sorry. I would be sorry if I ever left him.
Stacey met the police in the front yard of their residence. She mentioned that David had been depressed lately due to the recent death of his father, and she was worried about the gun he kept in the room. Sergeant Robert Willoughby of the Onondaga County Sheriff's Department knocked on the bedroom door. He could hear the TV inside, but there was no response from David. Finally, the sergeant had to force his way in. Inside, they found David Castor lying there, naked and dead. On the nightstand next to him were a couple of glasses along with some cranberry juice and apricot brandy. One of the glasses was half filled with a bright green liquid. On the floor under the bed was a container of antifreeze. Willoughby called for paramedics just in case, but it was too late. Stacey told police that the couple had a huge fight that weekend over their upcoming 2-year anniversary. Because of the fight, she left him on his own throughout the weekend, going out as often as she could. It wasn't until he didn't show up for work that she became concerned. The police initially believed that David had unalived himself. However, there were some details that still caught their attention. One was a turkey baster they found in the kitchen trash. It had traces of antifreeze as well as David's DNA on it. There were also no fingerprints on it. Another was David's will, which left his entire $300,000 estate to Stacey and her daughters from her first marriage, leaving nothing for his own son from his first marriage. She also quickly sold off her husband's company for almost $200,000. David's ex-wife, Janice Poisson, was also suspicious of the circumstances of his death. According to her, David would never unalive himself. More importantly, only Stacey's fingerprints were on the glass that contained the antifreeze. Because of their suspicions, the police decided to delve deeper into Stacey. They suspected that she might have poisoned David. Upon investigation, they discovered that her first husband, Michael, was also dead. In fact, he was buried right next to David. So, what exactly happened to Michael? Stacey was 17 years old when she met her first husband, Michael Wallace, in 1985. To everyone who knew them, it seemed as they were deeply in love with each other. They had a daughter in 1988, Ashley. "I knew from the minute Ashley was born my whole reason for being here was to take care of her," Castor said. To many, Stacey seemed well suited for motherhood. The couple got married in 1990 and soon had a second daughter, Bree, in 1991. According to Stacey, Bree was Michael's princess. Ashley, however, was not as favoured. And to make up for the slight, Stacey spent more time with her. Because of this, the two had a very close relationship, going beyond the usual mother and daughter relationship. They were best friends. Stacey's mother recalled that Stacey was as happy as she had ever been. However, things didn't always go smoothly between them. According to Stacey, Michael struggled with alcohol and drug use. He had even spent time in prison due to multiple DUI offences, and the family often had no money despite both of them working full-time jobs. The relationship between the two grew even more strained due to the fact that they had conflicting work schedules. Stacey worked at an ambulance dispatch company during the day, while Michael worked nights as a mechanic. According to a former friend of Stacey's, she was quietly contemplating divorce when Michael suddenly got sick in the winter of 1999. He was consistently coughing, acting unsteady, and seemed swollen. In a later interview, Ashley stated that Michael was having a hard time walking and he was having a hard time talking. She also recalled, one time he sat up and he just vomited across the coffee table and laid back down, went back to sleep like nothing ever happened. Michael consulted doctors, telling them that he felt drunk even if he hadn't had anything to drink. The doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with him and suggested that he might have an inner ear infection. However, just weeks later, Michael was found unconscious in the family's living room. He was rushed to the hospital, but was pronounced dead later. The doctors believed that he had died of a heart attack. He was just 38. Michael's sister requested an autopsy, skeptical about why her relatively young brother suddenly died. However, Stacey was firm in her refusal. She insisted that what the doctor reported as cause of death was enough. After burying Michael, she collected a $55,000 life insurance policy. A year after Michael died, Stacey met her second husband, David Castor. David was a recent divorcee who had his own heating and air conditioning installation company. He seemed to be everything that Michael was not: reliable, conscientious, and, most especially, not a drinker. Stacey started working at David's company as an office manager. By 2003, Stacey and David had married and moved in together. Stacey's daughters, Ashley and Bree, came with her. According to Stacey's friends, David was her Prince Charming. He treated her really well, making her feel safe, secure, and doted on. Two very different husbands, but somehow they both met very mysterious deaths. Because of this, the police decided to exhume Michael's body. Autopsy results showed that he had also ingested antifreeze, so Stacey was brought in for questioning. During the interview, Stacey slipped and mentioned the word antifreeze when talking about the juice she poured for David. When the detectives asked her about her slip of the tongue, Stacey clammed up. Though the police were suspicious, they didn't charge her yet. They did monitor her calls 24/7 and set up a camera outside of her house as well as at the cemetery. Ashley was attending her first day of college when two detectives came to tell her about the cause of Michael's death. Shaken, she called her mother. Stacey then invited Ashley to have a drink together because they've had a hard day. The next day, September 13th, 2007, Ashley, though hungover, went back to school. But Stacey called her again for another round of drinks. This time it was to celebrate Ashley's 21st birthday early. So Ashley drank another cocktail prepared by her mother, a mixture of Sprite and vodka. The next morning, Bree went to check on her sister and found her unconscious and barely breathing. She told her mother to quickly call 911. When the EMTs arrived, Ashley was unresponsive, and they weren't sure if she would survive. At the scene, detectives found an empty bottle of Absolute vodka as well as empty pill bottles. They also found a note confessing to the murders of her father and stepfather. The note said, "Mommy, I'm sorry all of this is happening to you, but now everyone is going to know. It wasn't you, it was me." When Ashley finally regained consciousness, she vehemently denied the confession. The police were able to corroborate Ashley's statement when they found drafts of the note on Stacey's computer. The timestamps indicated that these drafts were made while Ashley was in school, so she could not have been the one who wrote the note. Ashley also told the police that the last thing she remembered was drinking with her mother. Though Ashley felt that the taste of the drink was gross, Stacey just told her to continue drinking. The police decided to arrest Stacey in the hospital parking lot that very same day. Stacey was charged with David's murder as well as attempting to murder and frame Ashley. They also charged her with forging David's will. Apparently, she had convinced her friends, Lynn and Paul Pulaski, to sign their names as witnesses to a false will, leaving all of David's estate to her. Though Stacey wasn't charged with murdering Michael, the prosecutors presented evidence showing that she was involved with his death, using it to build a case against her. They stated that Stacey had killed both of her husbands for their life insurance policies and estates. Stacey's defense team naturally professed her innocence, and they were quick to point to another person as the murderer, her daughter, Ashley. According to the defense team, Ashley had a tumultuous relationship with both her father, Michael, and her stepfather, David. Both daughters had a hard time connecting with David. He was strict and expected the kids to obey him without question. In fact, David used to describe Ashley as selfish and disrespectful. When Stacey took the stand, she maintained that it was Ashley that had murdered both men and implied that her daughter might be mentally ill. In 2009, Stacey was sentenced to 51 years in prison. The judge told her, "In my 34 years in the criminal justice system as a lawyer and a judge, I have seen serial killers, contract killers, killers of every variety and stripe. But I have to say, Mrs. Castor, you are in a class all by yourself." Ashley also gave a statement at the trial.
I never knew what hate was until now. Even though I do hate her, I still love her at the same time. That bothers me. It's so confusing. How can you hate someone and love them at the same time? I just wish that she would say sorry for everything she did, including all the lies. As horrible as it makes me feel, this is goodbye, Mom. As hard as you tried, I survived, and I will survive because now I'm surrounded by people that love me. I'm going to do good things in this world, despite making me, in every sense of the word, an orphan.
Surprisingly enough, there was one person who didn't believe that Stacey was guilty. Her mother, Judy Eaton. She believes that Stacey didn't have it in her to kill anyone. In fact, for her, Ashley was the true killer. Although she was only 11 when Michael died, Ashley had ample opportunity, according to her. But is Ashley really the true culprit? Highly unlikely, because Stacey's misdeeds weren't just limited to her husband's mysterious deaths. In February 2010, the Onondaga County District Attorney William Fitzpatrick stated that his office was investigating the death of Stacey's father, Jeffrey Daniels, which occurred in 2002. Family members had told investigators that Stacey had visited her father in the hospital where he was from respiratory problems. She gave him an open soda to drink. He died suddenly the next day. However, charges were never brought against Stacey for Michael's murder or the mysterious death of her father. It doesn't matter now anyway. Because in June 2016, Stacey died from natural causes. Interestingly enough, she died of a heart attack. There were no signs of foul play. At the time, Stacey was at a maximum security prison for women in Westchester County. As for Ashley and her sister, they have already moved on. As hard as it is to get up every day and put a smile on my face, I know that I have to. Because if I don't, then Stacey won. The case of Stacey Castor serves as a grim reminder of how far some individuals will go to manipulate those around them for personal gain. With layers of deception and tragedy intertwined within this story, it raises questions about trust within families and the dark potential hidden behind seemingly ordinary lives. Thank you for watching. If you found this case intriguing or have thoughts on it, please leave your comments below and don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell for more true crime stories. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe,